And now, even as we were involved in the DV seminar, even though it was short, we want to thank you for the knowledge gleaned. And now, as we're about to go into this sort of phase of the program, with Dr. Smith, we ask that your presence may be with us, enlighten our minds, and help us to leave here with a better understanding of how we relate as families, in our own family and as in the church family. Bless us now, we pray for Christ's sake. Amen.
Please turn down your phones so no horses fall.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Now, again, I didn't tell you afternoon before. Now, if you're like me, I'm sure you had a good dinner. And if you're really like me, after you have a good dinner, then the best thing you need is a pillow. You want to sleep. It's part of our DNA. There's nothing you can do about it but fight it. So all we're going to do is to try and fight it. But I understand if I see you napping, I won't feel bad if they say I'm boring. As a matter of fact, to encourage me, I'm just going to ask you to come and sing a solo for me. That's all. I'm glad you're here, and we're going to be talking together as we explore this topic that we have here to deal with. Later on, when I get to the end of my presentation, I'll tell you about some of the goodies I have here. This one, it's a book written by Honey and myself, Why Good Relationships Turn Bad and What to Do About It. Some of the things we share on 3BN, we have a program there. This one, I really will have to tell you about it. Abandon in Brandon. This is one of my very powerful books that has gone around the globe, and folks have really written back and called me to tell me about it. Then we have 2 DVDs, Love Me Tenderly series. We have some very interesting topics on them. And When a Man Loves a Woman, Young, Gifted and Loving, Why Should I? Incompatible Lovers. And another one, Successful Dreamers, Loving Parents, Challenging Children, Women, Intimate Lovers, Bad Men, Bad Women, Why Do They Still Find Love? These 2 DVDs are done by Honey and myself. We'll tell you more about them, and we'll have some that you can get for you. Now the Christmas is coming up, Christmas holidays. These are very good gifts to give. Folks will cherish them. Now, I want to talk about bad men, bad women. Why do they still find love? Before I go into my presentation, Honey's not here, so I can only speak on her. She tells people, she says, I don't have any secret because my husband talks about everything. She just give up. She says it's hopeless. For you men who are here, is there anyone here who taught your wife to drive? Anyone who?
That's bad. Can't happen.
No, a few of us, a few people have. They didn't survive.
No, it's always in
I survived. I taught Honey to drive, and I had many interesting encounters, and I'll share one of them with you. Honey was driving. She's in the driver's seat, and I'm over in the passenger, and I'm telling her what to do. She's driving. So she comes up to. We see this sign. You know the red and white sign, STOP? I didn't think I need to explain that. But I was wrong, She just drove right through. So, as soon as she drove through the stop sign, she got into the middle of the intersection now. And guess what? She stopped. So I said to myself, I'm going to watch this now. I'm not going to say anything. So I'm sitting in the car, and she's sitting there. She's not moving either. I'm saying, well, But the road ahead, and we're in the middle of the intersection. The road this way, not ahead. The road to our right It's like a hill going up. And a truck is coming down. Truck is loaded with sand, heavy. And the truck is coming down, and the truck saw the car in the middle of the road. So the truck started blowing. Pom, 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 pom. And I'm saying, no, this is getting a little too close for comfort. So when I noticed my wife is not about to budge or anything, and the man is blowing, pom, 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 and the truck is coming, I said, honey, can you just move the car over the road? My wife looked at me and she said, I don't want to learn to drive anymore. Like, honey, bad timing. Any other time, but not now. Let's try to get it over the road and then we can talk. We need to accommodate any discussion, but not right now. You don't need to know the rest of the story because I'm here. She did get it over the road. But you know, one of those interesting things in our life as we grow together. Now, I'm going to address the topic from the point of bad. Let me start with the women. There's this paradox I don't understand with women. They often go for that which they complain about the most. If you ever listen to some ladies who are not married, and they're just talking to their girlfriend, and you hear one say, who me? I would never marry a man who so-and-so. Say, who me, girlfriend? No, I would never marry. And they have a long laundry list of what they would not do. They would never, and they would never. And they talk, and I mean, they're serious, serious, oh no. And then they start to tell you about who and who they marry and what they, you think I would do that? No. And then the same one they were talking about, who married this person, and they don't know why they married this one, because this person is going nowhere, it's no good, they break up. And one of them go and take that one. It's a paradox. Women often go for that which they complain about most. I can't explain. So why women go for bad men? Why good women go for bad men? First of all, because they usually know how to flatter them. Yes, ladies on a whole, it's part of their genetic makeup. They like to be flattered. They like to be told nice things. But for the most part, they want to know you are genuine with the flattery. But honestly, there are some women who, they know it's not true, but it just sounds sweet. And they like to hear it. And so, these guys will be telling them a lot of sweet nonsense in their ear. And they know it's not true. The guy would look at her and say to her, from I have been seeing women, you are the most beautiful woman on planet Earth. Now that should make you feel bad. Get a new in line. But you feel good. And the guy will come and whisper in your ear and he says, baby, the air that I breathe is polluted without you. And you say, wow, it melts your heart. So, they know the guy is a bad guy. They know the guy has some character flaws. They know the guy has some things that they're to stay away from. But just because of the things he's saying, the nice things that they love to hear, even though deep down in their heart they know some of it is not true, they like to be flattered. And that flattery will lead them astray. Will take them right out of the church. They will walk out for that. Another reason why women go for bad men, they claim they know how to create romance. These guys claim they know how to create romance. And it happened to married women as well as single. They sit and they listen to these guys. And what is happening is that the guys are very dramatic. And they start to describe to you and tell you what they can do to you. And some of them are audacious enough. They say, baby, I can make you cry. And if you're married, you look at yourself and you say, you know, you're talking to this guy at work, and you know the guy is a troublemaker. You know the guy, but you like the flattery and what's going on, and he's talking to you. And then he said to you, oh baby, you know, if I just need 10 minutes, I make him cry. And you said to yourself, 10 minutes? And I'm living with my husband for 5 years now, and I never cry. Say, thank God, again, I'm supposed to be crying. So your mind, your fertile mind now start wondering, what on earth can he do intimately to make me cry? And they say curiosity kills the cat, so you go and you start investigating. And before you know it, it has drawn you away. Another reason why women go for bad men, they are very humorous and can make them laugh over silly things. And there are some individuals who have that kind of a personality. We call them sanguine. It's a sanguine type personality. They're just the lifeblood of the party. You put a group of people together and they're sitting there just talking, talking. And this person walks in, and before you know it, people just start laughing. There are some people who just have that personality to make people laugh. And these guys, some of them are very good at that. And if you are troubled, if you're having problems in your marriage, if you have a relationship that is going bad, not so strong, or if you are single and you don't have a friend, this thing can drag you into a net. It can pull you bit by bit. Because when you're with somebody and the person keeps making you laugh and laugh, you're happy. You laugh your trouble away. You laugh your problems away. You don't remember what's going on at home and the conflict you're having with your wife or with your husband. And so you find all of a sudden you start missing this person when he or she is not around. You start missing that moment that you're having together. And what's happening, the humor that you enjoy can pull you into this relationship with this guy. And even though you know the person has character flaws, you will still go ahead with the person. Another reason why bad men, or maybe I should say, another thing that, or what you ladies need to remember, is that despite the humor, and despite the flattery, and despite the ability to make you cry, and all of those things, remember that bad men are abusive. They are physically abusive. And the research has shown, and I listened to the officer when he was talking, I got a little part of it, and he explained that physical abuse it occurs so often in homes. And I'm gonna say this very softly, I don't want to say it loud. It occurs in Christian homes more often than you'd want to think of.
Oh yeah.
Roger Dudley from Manchester University did a research on physical violence in Christian homes. And it was amazing to find out they have more than, I think it was 65% of families experience some form of abuse. You have to bear that in mind. That's what you're going to get from the bad man, regardless of how you're laughing. And they're also players. They are swingers. And so they meet you here in New York City over, this is Queens or Long Island? Long Island. Meet you here in Long Island and tell you all these nice things and how wonderful a person you are. And while they're saying this to you, by the time they leave you, they're texting someone, hey baby, I'm on my way to see you. I was late at work, The boss asked me to spend some extra time and that's why I'm late, but I'm coming over now. Alright, just leave you. But all of a sudden you're the boss, and where you are, it was work. It might have been work, I mean, But anyhow. I'm telling you. But these guys are players. And some of you young people, you know it, but it's like you feel that you don't care. And you need to care, because if you don't care now, later on you will care. But that time it's too late. It's too much pain, it's too much heartache, it's too much brokenness. They have a mean disposition. That's why they're physical abusive. Mean disposition. Sometimes they're very callous and cold. And some of the things they will do you have to look before you leave. You have to count the costs before you buy the product. It's not about laughter. It's not about having fun. It's not about the charisma of this person. It's the reality of what you have to face later on. Not only are they physically abusive, but they are also verbally abusive. And let me tell you something, folks. Do not minimize verbal abuse. Because they say, stick and stone. Let me tell you, the verbal cuts to the core. It diminishes your sense of self. When I had a case to deal with. I was in another country, and they asked me to speak to a couple. They had separated, and so I had them inside talking with them. And the lady, she had moved out of the house, the marital home. And the lady said to me, "You know, Dr. Smith, one of the reasons why I walked out is when my husband looked at me and told me that our 4-year-old son was not his. And that this pregnancy that I have, that he has a strong feeling that it is not his also." She said, "I couldn't handle that. I couldn't deal with it. And that's why I walked out." So I turned to the guy and I said, "Well, you know, in this day and age, you don't have to worry, because you can easily do a paternal test. So why not do a paternal test with your 4-year-old, and when the baby is born, later on, do the same. So you can, you know, these days it's good to be sure, rather than carrying this ambivalent feeling." And the guy looked at me and he said, "Dr. Smith, I don't need to do a paternal test." "So what do you mean?" He said, "No, I don't need to do a paternal test. I know that's my boy. I only said it to hurt her." And I said, "Listen, that's the lowest level. That's a low down." It's the worst level a human being could fall. That is abuse.
Yeah.
But it is not physical abuse. But let me tell you something. This time, this hurts more than if he had slapped her. And I'm not justifying anything. You understand me? But you understand the point I'm making. This hurts more at this stage here now. For you to know that your wife has your own child, and you still tell her you don't think it is your child. Verbal abuse is very painful, and that's a lot of what goes on. And of course, violent tendencies, lack of impulse control. You can see the whole conglomerate of things that are reflected here in bad men. Women who are emotionally bonded with bad men are victims of poor self-esteem. And there are several variables that can create this sense of lack of self in an individual. For example, childhood wounds. There are individuals who have genuinely been wounded as a child, and they have never been able to get over it, and never had an opportunity to work through it through a therapist. And so they are carrying this pain, this wound, this baggage along, and it diminishes them. They could also develop poor self-esteem by virtue of the family that they came out of. You know, not you younger parents, but the older parents. We older ones, it was like norm for our parents to tell us that we're foolish and we're stupid and we're dumb, and those were the only adjectives they knew, apart from the Bible. And they just diminish us by telling us these things. And they did not understand the psychological trauma that had on us as we grew up. Now, a number of individuals who might have had parents who call them names, have been able to break that barrier and move on from it, knowing that their parents was in what we call that paradoxical intervention. What they were doing is reverse psychology. They were trying to say you're dumb so that you would be bright. They were trying to say you're stupid so that you could be smart. That was their own way of challenging you to be better. But we now know that that's a bad way. And I hope there's no parent inside here. I hope there's not one parent that say negative thing to their child or children. Remember, never call them names. Never compare them with another child. See each child as an apple and treat that apple accordingly. Don't call them names. Don't put them down. Do not label them. Amen? Are we all together here, brethren? Never, never, ever do that. Celebrate your child and see the best in your child and talk about it. But there are many adults and young people too who have been wounded by this kind of a thing. Unfortunately, God forbid, sometimes a person was raped, was molested. Sometimes they were molested by a close friend and there was rape, and that could affect the individual. There are several individuals who have been raped and the parents didn't talk or didn't know, they didn't report the matter. And sometimes individuals have an abortion. And I want to say to you young people and young adults, abortion is a very serious thing. We know it happens quite frequently, but abortion is a serious thing. Abortion is not like going to the dentist and have a tooth pulled. It has emotional and psychological consequences. And as a clinician, I cannot begin to tell you how many adults have come into therapy for treatment because they had an abortion or abortions when they were teenagers, when they were young adults. And now it's affecting them emotionally and psychologically. Some of them are married people, have had children, and they're living in a marital relationship. And all of a sudden now, they're having intimate problems. There's certain sexual dysfunction that are affecting them now, and one can trace it emotionally and psychologically back to the abortion or the abortions that they had. And it's now playing out in their adult life years after. Abortion is very serious. It has negative emotional and psychological consequences. And these can affect one's sense of self. So women who, for whatever the reason, they are experiencing self-esteem and low self-esteem. And I'm talking about accomplished people, you know. I have had to treat people who are physicians, attorneys, engineers, computer experts, name the field. I've had to treat people, they have accomplished well educationally, but they still feel they're not good enough. Not long ago I had a boy. The boy was accepted in one of our top medical universities here to do his MD, and the boy would not go. He doesn't think he's good enough to be a doctor. The guy passed everything, got accepted now just to show up at the university, full scholarship, and turn it down. He would not go because he does not feel that he was good enough. Thank God they were able to get him to me. So, an individual can be damaged emotionally, and as a result of that, they have low self-esteem. And these are the individuals who gravitate to these guys now, because these guys now have a kind of I said sanguine, but part of it is also choleric, because they are strong, they're bossy, they're in charge, they look as if they're, even if they're doing drugs, they look as if they're going somewhere, they're going places, and they have this grandiose idea what they're going to build. They're going to build another Trump Tower, but this one will be bigger than the Trump Tower. And one guy said to my wife, and she was working with some students in a school doing some professional counseling, and one guy doing drugs, and my wife was counseling the boy to stop doing drugs. He said, Dr. Smith, let me tell you something, man. Those guys who the police got, they're stupid, man. They're stupid. He says, my boss has connection with the police, and you know, and he knows, he's street smart, and he knows everything, and the only reason why they catch those men is that they're stupid, man, and he's wise. And the following week he didn't come in for a session, so when he inquired, he was on Rikers Island. So these individuals, they present these grandiose picture of themselves, and they suck in these women. Sometimes your own girls, whom you have sent to school, you'll be shocked to see them drop out of college. They were on a good track to become something good. They are sucked in by, I don't want to use the adjective in my head. So let me drop the adjective. They are sucked in by these guys who are going nowhere. Nowhere. But I've had cases where we have had girls, they finish medical school, dental school, top degrees, and they allow some to grab them. You find the adjective, I just use my hand. And these girls are just following them. What do they have to offer you? He doesn't have to have anything to offer me. He loves me. I don't work enough money. He doesn't have to. One guy told me that, I'm serious, sir. The girl is a medical doctor, and the guy told me that he will stay home and mind the baby. And listen, when you talk to the girls, when you talk to him about the choices you make, and that the guy is no good, is a good for nothing, what have you, you start making excuses. You start defending him. Oh, he had a very difficult childhood. He had a very difficult childhood. You're not going to give him a good adult. You cannot be his therapist, so send him into therapy and leave him alone. Don't try to say, oh, the reason why he's like that, he had a child. But if he had a difficult childhood, then you're going to have problems. So don't excuse it. Don't use it as an excuse. He has been hurt by different women. So you are the knight in shining armor. You're the knight in shining armor. Or what's the name of this famous nurse that used to help in the war? Florence Nightingale. You're the Florence Nightingale. So you're going to come to provide healing. He has had, every other woman was bad and every other woman hurt him. But you're Jesus now and you're going to heal him. She sees herself as the exception. She's the only one. Everyone else can't, but she can. She will change him and make him good. Praise God, from whom our blessings flow. When you finish, I'm going to leave a card so you can get it. You're going to need to see me. He has not met the right person yet, and you flatter yourself that you are the right person. After you get your bumps and bruises, you will know neither you or anyone will be the right person. But, she sees herself as the perfect one for him. She tries to rationalize her situation, only she understands her bad boy friend. She excuses his abusiveness, blames it on others, and she's the one that is going to make him whole, going to make him perfect. Well, you need to understand that the guy has no interest in you. Most times all he needs is two things. What are they? Romance and money. And you ladies, if you notice the graduation rate, we always have more ladies graduating, less men. So you're graduating and you're working and you have the money, so they will get the money. And the other one, you have it too, so they'll get that too. He's not interested in you as a person. Remember that now. Now, regardless of the sweet nonsense that he used to flatter you with, and used to make you laugh, and used to make you happy, and you used to be on cloud 9. All of that does not mean anything because he has no interest in you as a person. And he doesn't care about you or your family. Couldn't care one thing. Let me move on and back up a little here. So, let's look at the cycle of bad men. First of all, when he needs intimacy, he's good. When he needs money, he's good. When he needs favor, he's good. That's the nicest guy on planet Earth. nicest guy. I am in counsel with a couple, and I have discovered that the woman is a gold digger. I'm dead serious. I have discovered that the woman is a gold digger. Anytime he needs whatever from the man, financial thing, she is the nicest woman to him. That's how bad men behave. When they need things from you, need romance, or need anything, you will see how good they are. But now as soon as they're satisfied, he starts fussing and becomes abusive. You see this thing about money and intimacy here? You do not know how many women have gotten birth. The last one I spoke to, she was 35,000 out. $35,000 out. And anybody here know? Anybody here watch Judge Judy at any time? You know this is almost half the case that go to Judge Judy. It's a guy, a woman met a guy, within a month he moves in, then he had a hard luck story and she lends some money, and he says it was a gift. She said it was a loan. You notice that? Always that. It was a gift, it was a loan. It was a gift, it was... Well, listen to me, ladies. First of all, don't give any gift, don't let any loan. And you won't have a problem. That's the best way to go about it. So to avoid the confusion and to go stand in front of Judge Judy, and most times Judge Judy is not sympathetic with you because she feels you are too dumb. Most times. She know the guy drawing you, she know you're a player, but she must learn sense. So, very expensive lesson. He starts fussing and he becomes very, very abusive. The next stage, the verbal abuse, the name calling, the physical abuse, all of that is happening. But then guess what? He needs intimacy and he needs money again, so what he starts to be the most romantic person again. And I'm going to tell you something about the cycle of abuse that goes on. Individuals who are in relationships that are abusive relationships, they know that this part is going to come. The name calling, the fussing and the abuse, verbal abuse and so forth. They know it's going to come. And they know this part is going to come where the physical abuse is going to come, and they know this can get very, very bad. They know that. However, they know that this part will come. This is the part where they bring flowers. This is the part where they bring chocolate. This is the part where they will go down on their knees and cry and say how they are sorry. And they will do this is the nicest person. And then that night, that evening, that whatever time when you guys go to have romance, it will be the most passionate, romantic moment. And that's what she's living for. That passionate, romantic moment. Even if it lasts for 5 minutes, she will take 10 more beatings to get back on the stage again. It's the dumbest thing. I don't know how you're going to allow 5 minutes to cause you to have someone swell face and what have you. Of course it is. But this is a serious stage. This stage keeps a lot of women in abusive relationships. They know they will get the licks. They know they'll get the cussing. They know he will have another affair and blah, blah, blah. But she's longing for this moment to come. This will cover a multitude of sin and pain. But as soon as this happens, see there, it starts again. It's a cycle. It just keeps going around and around and around. Just before we start, I need to get the mic here.
Revelations that we've heard on the Tyra show this year. Now, we just heard 17-year-old Leanne describe how her boyfriend punched her in the face and strangled her to the point where she blacked out. 17-year-old Kimberly also appeared on the Deadly Teen Dating Show to tell us how it took a near-death experience to get her to leave her abusive boyfriend. Check this out.
It was a normal day. We were having a normal conversation. And my brother called my phone. He thought it was some other dude. He thought I was cheating on him. He got mad. He took my cell phone. He called one of his homeboys and said, I want you to come to my house, rape this girl, and kill her afterwards.
Talking about you.
Talking about
And you heard him say that?
I heard it. After he did that, he told me to drive to his house. And he told me to park behind it because he had to get some stuff. That's what I did. And when he got out of the car, he threw my phone in the woods, busted it against the tree. He went around my door, opened the door, and said, I don't want to be with you no more. I want to kick your ass.
And what did he do?
He pulled me out. He slammed me on the ground. He knocked the breath out of me. He stood over me and looked me dead in my eyes and was like, do you still love me? I said, yes, I always love you. And he was like, wrong answer.
Wrong answer?
He said, wrong answer, and then he hit me.
Where did he hit you?
He hit me in the mouth.
In your face. And that's the bruise. Oh my God. When you look at those pictures, what do you think? When you see that, when you see yourself bruised like that,
it upsets me.
What upsets you the most?
That he did that. He said he loved me, but as you could tell, he showed it.
Does it upset you more that he did, or does it upset you more that you stayed?
That I stayed.
That you stayed.
This is a shirt where he hit me, and I was spitting up blood.
And your blood all over the shirt.
And he took it off his back and started wiping it for me.
So he hit you. This is his shirt.
This is his shirt.
With your blood on it.
With my blood on it.
And he took his shirt off to wipe your blood.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you keep this shirt?
Memories.
Memories what? Of what?
Well, to be honest with you, when I want kids, I want to show them. I want to teach them, like, hey, this is what I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have nobody like this.
I want to ask you, when did he say he was sorry? Because I'm sure he did, right? That's how it works.
After he did it. After he beat me to the ground, I couldn't get up. I was bruised. I was hurting. I was crying. And he was like, baby, I'm sorry. I don't know why I did it. I would just look at him and tell it was fake. He was fake. I knew he was going to do it again.
Are you with him now?
No.
Do you think you'll go back?
To be honest with you, I don't think I never will.
You don't think you will?
I never will go back there.
You never will?
I never will.
You sure? Then we have your mother. She's in the audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it got so bad. You took your daughter to counseling to try to get her out of this relationship, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think she will go back? Because I'll be honest, when I asked her the first time, Kimberly, I asked you and you kind of stumbled. You were like, it was a little hesitation. Where's that hesitation?
Because I love him. I always will love him. No matter what. But it's just going to get worse. And I know that.
But what was the hesitation of saying that you're going to stay away forever? I didn't truly believe you. I felt like that Tyra show answer. There's an audience, there's cameras, there's lights on you. There's me looking like this. And I feel you just say the right thing. What would it take for him to get you back? He could say something. He could change. If he said he changed?
If I see it.
How do you see it?
I don't think he never will.
How do you see it? How do you see him change? To go back? How do you see something like that?
To get a job. To be independent. Because I took care of him.
Do you think a job and being independent and having a job and bringing money home is going to make him stop with you?
If he gets some help.
Do you think that she'll go back?
Each and every day, like I said, we've had her back 4 weeks, and we've been dealing with this for 3 years. And she comes home about 3 or 4 weeks. She'll stay home and she'll go back to him. And it's every day, we just get up in the mornings and we look in her bedroom and she's there, and we just thank the Lord for another day that we have with her. Because in my heart, no, I don't know. I'm not satisfied. I don't have the assurance that she's not going back.
Yeah. She doesn't have that thing of I'm done.
No.
Because there's an I'm done thing. When I was in my emotionally abusive relationship, Kimberly, it was this kind of thing what I feel with you right now. But one day, I'll never forget, I woke up in this hotel room in New York City, and I just called him and I said, I'm done. And I heard in his voice that he knew it was true. And he just felt like, oh my gosh, she's telling the truth this time. And when you're done, you know you're done. There is none of this, I love him, I'll always love him, da-da-da, if he gets a job, you're not done. And you need to get to being done and get to loving you. When you truly love you and inside and know that you are worth more than some man pounding you and calling it his friends and saying that they need to come and rape you, when you're truly done with that, there'll be a different girl sitting here, not that girl that's like unsure.
You see what I'm talking about? I think if he gets a job, he beats you more. If he didn't have anything and he's beating you, can you imagine when he has something? He's depending on you to support him and he's beating you. Can you imagine when he has his own support? Come on, girl. And you know what's the funny thing about it? Some of you will sit here and listen to this and watch it, and you will let it happen to you anyway. But I'm glad I'm here this evening, and I hope this will be a wake-up call. I hope it will be a wake-up call, that you will understand that. Let me tell you something. You are precious. As I said in my sermon this morning, you're a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and no one has the right to abuse you. Absolutely no one. And if you're in such a relationship, as Taft says, done. You must be done. And when you're done, you know you're done. You're not saying, I love him. No. And the other person must know that you're done. Done is done with dear sister. These are the kind of women who take this situation. I call them willing victims. Willing victims for these bad men are women who have lived upright lives, grown up in the church, come from a nice family. Parents are not perfect, but they try hard to give them the best, to give them a good life. They're raised in a more conservative manner. They didn't get to go out and roam the world and take all of that, so they feel they have missed out on life. Want to enjoy something else out there they haven't tasted. There's something out there they haven't tasted yet. Come out of a boring kind of marriage. Some of you in your nice, good marriage with your good wife, your good husband, with your good spouse. You see this flighty person here make you laugh, telling you all this sweet nonsense, and all of a sudden you start looking back at your marriage, you are bored. Marriage is boring. Your marriage is boring, and you want a little excitement. You want a little this, a little sex, a little hell. Yeah. Willing victims. Tour guides, like the proverbial fly who wants to get close to the fire and not be burned. Bad men serve as tour guides to sexuality and sensuality. And then now, my friends, most times when these women realize their mistakes, guess what happened? They have already gone too close to the fire and have been badly burned. We're talking about morality being burned, self-esteem being burned, finance burned. Some of them are taken out badly. Some of them, their credits have been messed up because they countersign, take out credit card for boy, buy cars for boy, do all these things. And I'm not talking, it's not just teenagers I'm talking about, you know. One lady I know I would call a hardback woman. co-sign for man by blah 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 blah. No man take it and go on and leave or you come right to me. One decide why I can't go to the man and ask him. Me I'm a good therapist, but I'm not that good. And most of all, spirituality burned. I've seen too many people walk away from God. Too many people walk away. They were deacons in the church, deaconesses in the church. They sang in the choir. Officers, they were in the Pathfinder Club. Good people. They've allowed bad men to drag them out of the church and drag them away from God. And although they went on these years of romantic rendezvous, at the end of it they have nothing to show but sin, shame, and disgrace. Nothing. They realize it's empty like Solomon. They come to the conclusion it's all vanity and vexation of spirit. Spirituality is burned. It went too close to the fire. I'm going to move now to the other gender, because I would not want you to sit here and think only bad men. We have some women that are bad to the bone.
All right.
So to prepare you for this journey that I'm going to go into, I'm going to ask my daughter to come and sing for us.
I'm not a bad woman.
It was such a lovely day. The sun was shining bright. The gentle winds were blowing my way. Not a storm cloud was in sight. And then suddenly a storm surrounded my life. But even in the storm, I could feel it come. Here's the reason why. I know the peace speaker. I know him by name. I know the peace speaker. He controls the winds and the waves. When he says peace be still, they have to obey. I know the peace speaker. Yes, I know him by name. There has never been another man with the power of this friend. By simply saying, peace be still, he can calm the strongest wind. When the storm clouds come my way, I know that He is near to drive away all fears, and I can smile and say, I know the peace speaker. I know Him by name. I know the peace speaker. He controls the winds and the waves. When He says peace, be still, they have to obey. I know the peace speaker. Yes, I know Him by name. Peace, wonderful peace, coming down from the Father above. When He says peace, be still, they have to obey. I know the peace speaker. Yes, I know Him by name. I'm glad I know the peace speaker. Yes, I know Him by name. By name.
We ask the question, why are good men attracted to bad women? You know the story very well, Samson and Delilah. Well, some good men have the Samson syndrome. The Samson syndrome. You remember Samson when he went down to Timnah and he saw a woman of the daughters of the Philistines. He came back up. He told his mother and his father about this beautiful blondie that he saw. And when his parents said to them, why would you go to the uncircumcised Philistine to find, is there not any among the daughters of your people? What was his response? Strong, she pleaseth me well. Get her for me, for she pleaseth me well. Young people, I want you to listen to me especially. Listen to me, young people. Samson did not care about the family values that were instilled in him when he was growing up. He did not care about the church that he was a part of, that he grew up in and did so many things in church. He did not care about the many worship that his parents had, praying for him to be a good boy. Samson did not care about God himself, Jehovah, whom he saw his parents worshiping. The only thing that mattered for Samson was that he was in love, this woman pleased him, and he could not care who don't like him, whether it's the pastor, the elder, my father, my mother, my sister, my brother, even my friend. I don't care because I love these people. That is what you call a fatalistic mentality. Because listen to me, young people, any boy that you love that badly, or any girl that you love that badly, that you don't care what anybody else says, is gonna wreck your life. It cannot work out. Because marriage is not marrying one person. Marriage is marrying into a family. You are not, when both of you get married, you go off for honeymoon, but after the honeymoon you come back to reality and your parents are his parents, and his parents are your parents, and you're all family. You cannot live without your family. And if you turn your back on your mother now, if you turn your back on your father now, later on when the trouble comes, the Bible says it's sweet in the mouth, but it's bitter in the belly. So listen to good counsel. It's not about just you. It must not just please you. It must first please God. It must please your parents. It must please some senior, respectable people in the church. When you love somebody, you must have some other people who can endorse them. If you have to hide him, if you have to hide her, not a good sign. That was Samson's problem. You know something about Samson, gentlemen? Samson made 3 bad choices. If you read the book of Judges carefully, 3 times Samson formed a relationship. And the 3 times there were 3 bad women. Now, gentlemen, I want you to listen to me carefully. If the first time you find a girlfriend is a bad woman, and the second time you find another girlfriend is a bad woman, and the third time you find another girlfriend is a bad woman, nothing is wrong with the women. The problem is with you. You don't know how to pick a good woman. That would be the problem. Samson had that problem. And as a result of that, Delilah sucked him in. Let's read together what Ellen White says. She says, many mistake strong passions for a strong character. But he who is mastered by his passion is a weak man. You cannot be controlled by your libido. You must have impulse control. So let's talk about the Delilah woman, because there are a lot of them floating around. Some of them are even lodging in the church, waiting on your good son, waiting on your good husband. The Delilah woman. Delilah was a beautiful woman. You cannot take that away from her. She was very, very beautiful. But I want to talk about the danger of the external. You know, in my time when I was going to school, which is a long time ago, I was going to high school. In those days, girls used to wear pleated uniform. Anybody remember that? Yeah. The uniform had pleats. Now, alright. Now we guys, when we get into our class, we just go in and we just, and we sit down. You ever see a girl who sit, she put her hand behind her. She put every pleat in place, and then she sits down, gentle. And then there's a thing called starch. No, you won't remember that. When that uniform is starch and stiff, and you put those pleats into place and you sit down, when she gets back up, it just lies down. Woo, you just have to admire her. Now, that was good. But we had some girls in my class. They took it a mile, one step further. They spent all day in class. When teachers teaching, they have a little mirror. Teacher teaching, you know. When teacher called on one of them, Yvonne, yes miss? What is 2 plus 2? They don't know teacher. And they are well dressed. We boys used to call them pretty dons. Very pretty. They have the longest hair and they don't know a thing. Pretty dons. So, if you are going to, gentlemen, if you are going to look for the external, there are some danger there. Delilah was beautiful, but inside of her was ugly. Now, don't misunderstand me. Every one of us will look for someone attractive. And you should do that, gentlemen. Nothing is wrong with that. I look for a very beautiful girl. But if that's all she had, I wouldn't take her. She had to have something inside called character. Are you listening to me? Now, if you're going to form a relationship by just the external. And some of you gentlemen, for you the external is the shape of the body, the Coca-Cola bottle shape, you know. Now, listen to me carefully. Nothing is wrong with the Coca-Cola bottle shape, but just know that the Coca-Cola might still like Coca-Cola all the while. And if you only love her for the shape, as soon as the shape changes, the love goes. Are you listening to me? When I was dating honey, I remember after we got married, and we go to the beach, I put honey on my neck. And I walk around and run races around. I will run that race now. Because she has changed. After 34 years, I mean, if she didn't change, I wasn't treating her good. I can't love her for when I met her when she was a teenager almost. I can't love her for that time. She has grown. She has matured. Her body has changed. And everything. I can't look for Coca-Cola back then. Now, there are some ladies who are able to maintain their figures. That's fine. What is wrong with that? That's great. But not everyone can. So don't just look for the external. Because if it's just the external, I know a lovely young lady, and some of you might even know her. Lovely young lady. She was very, very beautiful. And she got married. And there was an accident on one of our trains here in New York. Some drifter threw acid in her face. Yes, leave it at that. And burned her up. And up to this day, she's married. You know what testimony that is? Her husband did not love her for just the external. Because if that was the case, he would have gone. That's what I'm saying to you folks. You don't know what's going to come. And anything come, you must be able to stay together. Because it's not an external beauty that makes an individual of who she is. And that's the mistake of Samson. He was looking on just the beauty of the woman and could not care. You men must not make that mistake. Delilah was a cunning woman. The danger of deceptive love. You know, a woman, she told her husband that they generally go to camp and the family goes to camp. But this year the husband, because of what he was doing, couldn't go to camp. So the wife said, okay, I'll take the children and we will go to camp. Fine. So the arrangement was made. She left with the 2 children and went to camp. 1 week at camp. And came back after a week at camp with the children. And told the husband camp was good, beautiful, had a good time. About a week after, husband was taking the children to school. And they were talking. In the back of the car, they were driving. And something the child said, and the husband said, no, that didn't happen, because if that happened, mommy would have told me. Oh, mommy must tell you mommy wasn't at camp. What do you mean, mommy? Mommy was it? No. Mommy drop us off, tell us to have a good time, and that she'll come back and pick us up. And when camp finished, mommy came back and picked us up. But mommy didn't go back home. Where was mommy? Mommy left and went to another city and spent the entire week in a hotel. Not with our sister, no. We're talking about the danger of deceptive love. Deceptive. And Delilah was good at that. Gentlemen, bad women are good at that. They are cunning. They are deceptive and they will deceive you. And they don't care whether you're married or you're not married, you know. As a matter of fact, it's when you're married they love you. Because that is and they feel you have substance. And they feel if you break up, you will settle with your wife and get 50% of the house, and then they stand fat. They plan this thing all the way out, you know. And poor, you don't know what's going on. You think you just love. Take heed to yourself that your heart be not deceived. And ye turn aside and serve other gods and worship them, and serve other women and worship them. Don't let your heart be deceived. So why good men go to bad women? You know, this argument is similar. Same argument you made for the woman, the same for the man. The sense of adventure he sees in her. Feels that this woman is up and down, and she's bubbling, and she's joy, and he just wants to spend the time with her. He has always played it safe, and now he wants to risk it. You know, I've been deacon for too long. Boring now, and everyday deacon. Forget that now, forget that. I haven't been to a nightclub from I was born. I want to try out what a nightclub looks like. He sees another side of life that seems fun, and he wants to try it out. Danger is always attractive. That is how sin is. Wants to try it out. And my friends, you know, he enjoys the attention he's getting from the woman. He enjoys the risk he is taking. He likes her sense of unpredictability. And yes, he wants to change from this church mouse syndrome. Because when he met this girl, you know, he was in the church. He was in the church. But every time the girls start calling him, hey, church guy, you know, like, oh no, don't call me church guy. I go there, but you know, I can't take him down there. Pure hypocrite. As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure I'm going back. Start justifying he's not a church guy. Don't like the name because you know that girl smokes and she drinks and she curses too. And he's like the Peter syndrome. He will give her a few words to let her know he's not a church guy. I mean, him go and then call him deacon, but you never really like this deacon thing anyhow. And start behaving like the world, start acting like the world. And you have seen some good men, decent guys, who grew up in lovely homes, who know better and should be doing better, but because they form the wrong relationship, they start drifting away from God, away from the principles, away from the church, away from everything. And the worst part of it is that nobody can talk to them. Because love is a feeling, you feel until the belly start hurt you. I've seen some people on my website, Greater New York Conference website, and I'd like you to take this down because I want you to check it out. GNYC.org for Greater New York Conference, GNYC.org. And as you go on the front page, you're going to see my picture on the left column side, Dear Dr. Smith. People from around the world write questions into me and I answer them. Not every question I can post, but right now I have 108 questions posted and the answers that I give. And let me tell you, they do ask me, they rake me over with some questions. When you look down the list, they're all listed by topics or by questions. So you can easily check the question and decide which one you want to read. Click on that one, it takes you to the question, and you go back to the page. You can read your heart desires, like reading a book. 108 questions I've answered in all fields and in every area. And I would like you to send me a question too. You will note that no name is posted nor where the person is coming from. Nothing at all. You can't tell where it's coming from. So write me a question. GNYC.org. GNYC.org. And it's Dear Dr. Smith. Dear Dr. Smith. And on that website, people ask me all different kinds of questions. And a young boy, I was out in another state in this country, and he wrote me a letter. It was a question letter, and I put it on the internet, so you'll find it here. He said, I can't remember the exact thing, but he says, I would jump, and he's writing to a girl now. The girl is not showing him interest, so he's trying to let the girl know how much he loves her. He says, I would jump on a grenade for you. I would throw myself in front of a moving train. I would put my hand on a spinning blade for you. And then he's writing to me now, and he's sending me the thing he sent to the girl, and then he put at the bottom, Dear Dr. Smith, do you think I'm crazy? And my answer to him was, yes, you're crazy. You're going to put your hand on a spinning blade. You're crazy. You're going to jump in front of a moving train. You're crazy. I was over in Barbados. You know, God has really blessed my ministry. I have traveled to 55 different countries. 55 different countries. And most of them have gone there several times. Anyway, I was in Barbados and I was doing a seminar like this, and a guy sent me a question, and I posted the question on the website too. And he was possessed with, he says, "Dear Dr. Smith, I know you're going to tell me that I'm to look into character, and I'm to look," and he named all the things that I'm going to tell him to look into in choosing a mate. But he says, "Dr. Smith, all I want is a woman with big breasts." That is the only ingredient that's all she needs to bring to the table. He says, "I just love that. If I get that, I'll be happy." So I'm writing back to him and I start with, "Dear big breast lover." What the good guy is a victim of this bad woman's possessiveness. Unfortunately, he soon realized that he's with someone who is over-possessive. And all he's getting is control, dictatorship, emotional abuse, lying, and manipulation. Let's watch this little clip that is coming up.
Has not seen Derek in 2 years. 2 years ago, Andrea pushed Derek down the stairs. Andrea admits to being a woman that is abusive to her boyfriend. Every single boyfriend she's ever had, she's been abusive. Derek is here. Derek, take me back to that day when she pushed you down the stairs.
Basically, I was coming home and things weren't going right with me and her. And I don't know what happened. Actually, she was pushing me down the stairs like real hard. I'm like, what's going on, you know? And she said she was just joking, but she pushed me like a guy would, you know? Real. Like in my neck, yeah.
You hit your neck?
In my neck. My back was hurting. And she thought it was just a little game being funny and all. And I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't liking all that.
Mm-hmm. So there, I know you said you knew you wanted to end the relationship at one point. What point was that?
After she punched me in my eye. That wasn't worth it. Give me a black eye because we kind of broke up, you know.
What do you tell people when you have a black eye that your girlfriend?
They laugh. They like, what? Let your girl punch you in your eye? I'm like, yeah. I probably would have joked around and said that something else happened, but
yeah,
that was
you cover up.
Yeah,
you cover up and not tell the truth. She's here. She has you here for a reason. Why not? I guess you can tell them.
Hi.
What's up?
You look great. I asked you to come here because I wanted to apologize. And I don't have an excuse because I don't believe in excuses. But I know that I need help. I need to help myself. I need to fix myself. And I shouldn't have never hit you, ever. I shouldn't have hit anybody, but you deserve better, and I want to do better for you. So I can fix myself, and then we can fix us.
Something I'm not looking for. After a woman put their hands on me, I don't want an abusive relationship, and that's not for me.
It's not even if I stop.
No, I'm mad.
You said you found better in a relationship now?
Yes.
Yeah? Does she hit you?
No.
No.
She loves me.
Yeah, that's good.
That's how bad girls behave, you know. You see, she's turning on the charm right away. Oh, if I fix myself up, you know, I know if I fix myself up and then we, you know. And if you're not careful, men, you'll be dragged back into it. You feel, you know, it's a nice woman, she's attractive, you know, she almost has the Coca-Cola shape, and you know, you know what I mean? She's tall, and then she's Caucasian, long flowing hair. You know, you could easily be taken back, but it's danger. She's a Delilah. That's a Delilah up there. That's a Delilah. Pretty dance. So, when women have blatant character flaws, good men will still marry them thinking they can help to change them. But men, you cannot change them. The only person you can change is yourself. That's the only person you can change. Don't fool yourself. Bad women may be fun, but the party never lasts. Vain pleasure always wears off over time. Thus, good men, beware. A bad woman may shower you with compliments, attention, and excitement. But you need to remember, and don't forget, the moment you fail to give her what she wants, the moment you cannot finance her lavish lifestyle, she will lose interest in you. Soon she's off looking for another man who has more material things to offer. That's how bad women behave. They will break up your marriage and later on dump you behind it. And all people can say is, good, you deserve it. You had your good wife and you leave her. Gentlemen, if you make your bed hard, you will have to lie in it. Don't forget that. So, break the bad cycle. I'm speaking to men and women now. How can a good person avoid dating and marrying a bad person? First of all, the right use of premarital counseling. I want to take a minute or less than a minute to talk to those of you who are not yet married. You know, people do premarital counseling, but here's how they do premarital counseling. They see somebody, start dating the person, become good friends, and then they decide, let's get married. So they decide to get married. Okay, they sit down and they set a date. After they set a date, then they go and they find a place that they can have the reception. After they have the reception, they find a photographer, they find a flower girl, they find all of these different individuals, they contact who they want to be their bridesmaid, they contact all of that, and then they go to the pastor. And they said, Pastor, we would like to get married on such and such a day. Please counsel us. They pay down on the cake, they pay down on the photographer, they pay down on the flowers, they pay down on the place they have in the reception. They have invited, the invitation is already sent off to print. They have invited all their friends and loved ones. Everybody know they're getting married. Then they go to the pastor. They say, Pastor, we're going to get married. We want some counseling. What do you want counseling for? To tell you choose a nice girl, you choose a nice guy. No, you don't need counseling for that. You already know that. And if we say it was nice, you wouldn't believe us. You see, my friends, that's not what premarital counseling is about. When you come at that stage to the pastor or to the... Well, I don't take you at that stage, so it wouldn't be me. But when you go to a clinician or to a pastor at that stage, you're just your chewing gum. Everything they say, yes. Everything they agree with, yes. Because the only thing, as soon as they finish with the pastor, you're going to meet with somebody over there for something for the wedding. You're not doing premarital counseling. Premarital counseling comes before you put down not even a dime. Not before you don't say a word to anybody. You both are talking, you both are liking each other. You say, you know something? If we're taking this serious, let's go see how compatible we are. Let's go see if we can explore some of the baggages we have, and if we can get rid of them. You need to sit down and go through premarital counseling before you decide on a date, so that if in the counsel something comes up that you really see you shouldn't get married, you don't have to close your eye and still get married. You can easily call it off, and there's no embarrassment, there's no shame, because you didn't open your big mouth and tell anybody anything. And you didn't spend a dime. And a lot of these deposits you can't get back, so you say, we know we shouldn't get married, but we don't want to lose the money. Look, you better lose it. I can tell you of so many individuals that I have done premarital counseling with, and they never get married afterwards. They say, boy, I'm not going to him then. No, I'm not going to him then, but that's why you should come. That's why you should come. Because it will save you a multitude of embarrassment, pain, headache, heartache, tummy ache, backache, footache, nose ache, eye ache, all aches. Save your life and may help you to get to heaven. Premarital counseling must always come before you set a date, so that you're opening yourself. I love this girl, I love this guy, but I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm leaving it up to the Lord. Give me guidance. That's when you know you're serious. How can you avoid marrying a bad person? Do not ignore red flags. You see the red flags, but you still. I was in my office here up in Manhasset, where my office is. Phone rang, I picked up. Pastor Smith, how are you doing? I'm fine. And the person said, Dr. Smith, I have a question for you. Go ahead. I'm dating my fiancé, and we're to get married. But we had an argument yesterday, and he slapped me in the face. So what do you think I should do? Me, he didn't slap me. We asked you what he did. No. Your fiancé won't run that risk with me. Ask me what you should do, and he didn't slap me. Slap me. You need to ask me that question, because I don't know what to do. Anyway, so she said, Pastor, you're joking. I'm not joking, God. I said, you're the person he slapped. You should know what you want to do. I know, Pastor, but you're the expert, No, I'm the expert in slapping. No woman slapping my face. Pastor, Dr. Smith gets serious. I said, what should I do? I said, you want me to tell you what to do? Yes, sir, that's what I call. I said, run. What you say, sir? Run. You mean that? Yes, run. But I'm engaged, still run. And she didn't take me serious. So the conversation ended shortly after. And she continued, and she got married. About a year after, same phone rang again. Hi, Dr. Smith, how are you? I'm fine. Do you remember me? Who are you? I mean, come on now. You're on the line. You remember me? Who are you? Oh, you remember I called you to the bus also? Oh, yeah. And you told me to run. I said, yeah. Did you run? No. But I should have run. Well, he's beating my life out. Do not ignore red flags. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your soul. If you see it now, don't fool yourself. Say, when we get married, we will fix it. You don't fix anything in marriage. It only gets worse. Break. Don't build your self-esteem on a relationship.
Amen.
In other words, if you feel that it's somebody who's going to make you happy, you will be miserable. Because happiness comes from inside. If you're not happy with yourself, may God help you. And let me tell you, never marry anyone who is depending on you to make them happy, because your life will be HELL. If you marry a girl, if you marry a guy who is depending on you to make them happy, you are going to be miserable because you will not be able to make them happy. Because happiness comes from inside. And if they are not happy with themselves, you can't make them happy. No matter how good you think you are, no matter how smart you are, you will soon discover it. Remember that singleness is not a dysfunction. If you're single and you're not married, not a God thing is wrong with you. You are a healthy, normal, human being. At my desk, in my office, I have this big, thick book. They call it the DSM-4. Diagnostic Statistical Manual. And all the mental health diseases, sicknesses, not diseases, sicknesses. All the maladaptive sicknesses that you can think of. All the dysfunctions are listed inside here and what axis they appear on. And every client that comes into my office, I have to make a diagnosis and find that sickness in that manual. And as a result, I know the manual very well. It's very thick. Very, very thick. And I've gone through it back and forth, up and down, a number of times for the years I have been doing clinical work. And I've never, ever come across singleness inside there. It's not in the manual. If singleness is not in the manual, it means that singleness is not a dysfunction. You are healthy, you are normal, you're okay. It's not just okay to be single, it is fantastic to be single. So you don't have to run after anyone. No man, no woman. Because singleness is not a dysfunction. Enjoy your life. I always say, some people don't like to hear me say it, but I say it anyway. Never, those of you who are not married, don't run. Don't let anybody push you into anything that so many people are dying to get out of. Pastor, I can come back again? I can come back again. You're a beautiful, celebrated child of God. Amen? Amen? Jesus sacrificed his life to love you without expecting anything in return. Your desire to feel cherished and complete can only be met in Jesus Christ. If your need for love is not met in Christ, then your heart can be vulnerable to a bad person's charisma. In other words, if you do not allow Jesus Christ to take control of your heart, then any man, any woman that is not good for you can come and sweep you off your feet. You must be anchored in Jesus Christ. And so, my friends, you and I must remember what John says. We love him because he first loves us. What a Jesus we serve. A person's ability to love someone is only found in the life that Jesus offers to him or to her. You and I must therefore remember, friends, we must always remember, reserve your heart for a person who will rely upon Christ to love you. And that's it. Who will rely upon Christ to love you. I pray, God, that as you listen to this presentation, not only will you learn from it, and you young people be benefited, but you will also help others. Because when everything is said and done, we want to save our families. We want to save our homes. We want to save our young people. And we want to be saved in God's kingdom. Thank you for having me, and God bless you all.